Welcome to my stream today. My name is Hannah. I'm an intuitive healer for celebrities. Welcome. I'm just going to give it a moment and see if there's some people who want to join me live today. So I am talking about psychic attack and psychic abuse because it's a big one, and I felt really called to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it yesterday. However, I was called to have a rest yesterday, so I trusted that and listened. So I've been doing lots and lots of live streams lately. I've really stepped up my game. Hey Benita, welcome. I'm just going to share this and I'll just check and see if other people want to join live. Say hi if you're here. Let me know if it's your first time to one of my live streams. Okay, so just share this one as well. Okay. Alright, so psychic attack and psychic abuse is a very kind of common thing, and it's a really, I guess a touchy topic, talking about abuse and attack, and psychic attack especially, right? Because there is a fine line of abuse, and if we think about, in a, hey Tamsin, if we think about, in physical abuse, so like domestic violence or any other, abuse on the planet, basically what abuse is crossing somebody else's boundaries, yeah? And there's no respect for other people's boundaries. There's, it's pretty much what abuse is, right? When we look at it from a psychic perspective or an energetic perspective, there's no separation. There's no difference, right? With psychic attack and psychic abuse, what you're doing is you're overstepping somebody's energy, okay? So the thing that I wanted to really point out here is, I guess that I've had, my following and has increased, and I've been doing a lot more readings, and welcome to all my new followers. I love having you here and connecting with my new tribe, and been calling you guys in, so you're coming in and waking up, and I freaking love it. So the thing that I noticed and what I wanted to speak to about it is that so the example is, I've had a couple of people say, oh, I'm going to send you my energy, or send you my thoughts or whatever, so that you can answer them for me energetically. And I'm like, no, I won't do that. And a lot of people have been a little bit I can feel a bit offended by me saying no. And I really wanted to, yeah, cool, I'll speak to that, Benita, for sure. And I really wanted to jump on live stream about it, because, honestly, and this is a bit of a touchy topic, so I'm being mindful of my words, but with the sense of, say, abuse, basically you're not respecting somebody's boundaries. And, the thing is that this is where it's a twofold thing, I guess, because it takes two to tango, okay? So when I'm going to talk psychic abuse, so when somebody says, I'm going to send you energy so that you answer my question for me, and I'm just like, well, no, I'm not going to do that, right? Simply because I've learned the hard way about helping too many people all the time, and I get burnt out, and I need to take extra care of myself, energetically, physically, the entire thing, right? If I want to step up and be that person who helps the world, then I really need to be very mindful of my energies, boundaries, and and some people don't like it when you say no to them, all right? Especially when and it takes practice. I'm like the people pleaser of the planet. I want to save the world, for goodness sake, right? It's taken me a lot of practice to be able to say no, right? And a lot of people don't like saying no to. The thing is, when I'm going to send you energy so that you read me and answer my questions, that is a form of psychic abuse, really, if you really think about it. In a sense of if you let's go back to the physical world, and if you're pointing fingers at somebody saying, oh, they're a narcissist and, you know, they're doing all this thing, well, you know, narcissistic behavior is a very negative person who, you know, has no respect or boundaries for somebody else, right? So when you are, you know, well, I'm going to send them energy, and even if it's a good energy, right, I'm going to send them healing. You can do that, right? It is up to that other person to accept that healing or that, you know, level of healing, basically. So it's the same thing when I said it takes two to tango. So, you know, if I was to not be aware of my energy enough that, you know, people are sending me energy so that I read them and stuff, that's energetically going to drain me. Whereas because I'm very conscious that I'm not doing free readings anymore, and that was my thing from January 1st at the start of this year in 2017, simply because I really needed to shift gears in my business and my life. And if I was constantly helping people energetically in my dream state and, you know, on a physical level in the physical world, you know, there's something you can't really sustain, right? Especially when you've got a big vision about that. So in Trust Intuition in module 4, I specifically talk about psychic attack. Now let me talk about that specifically in this sense that, you know, with psychic attack, okay, it's usually if somebody is bitching about you behind your back, they're not even conscious that they're doing it, right? And this is the thing where it's like, oh, you psychically attacked me, well, I better smudge you and get rid of you out of my life, right? People don't usually know that they're doing this sort of thing, okay? And that's where you need to be very mindful of how you're responding to something like that, because if you're feeling it, it just means that you need to take better care of your energetic boundaries, and, you know, and be more conscious of your energy and take better care of yourself, right? So when, you know, basically if somebody's bitching about you behind your back, again, they don't even know that they're doing it, but this is what happens energetically and psychically, is that, you know, they're bitching about you because, I don't know, you're doing better than them in their life, or you're doing something that they wish that they could do and they don't have the courage to do that. It's usually what people bitch about you behind your back for. And they'll pull you down and whatever and talk negatively about you. That is, you know, it could be like if you've got pain in your body and you don't, like the doctors can't find anything wrong with it, there might be an axe or a spear or something, like energetic spear or axe, and it could be, it's just them bitching about you, but that's what it's like. It's like a dagger in your back, right? And, you know, in module 4, like I said, I talk about, you know, why it's there, how did you attract it, why did you attract it, because like I said, it's just you needing to take better care of your energetic boundaries, so that, you know, it stops out here rather than it actually hitting your physical body and, you know, actually being in there. So shadow work definitely in call. I used to get it quite a lot, but since, you know, really upping my game, like I said, with my energetic boundaries, my physical boundaries, who and why and where I'm helping, where's my energy, being very conscious of it, which is something I really encourage you to do if you're a sensitive empath, light worker, whatever you want to call it. Because on some level you also attracted that, okay? So this is where shadow work comes in, and again in module 3 and 4 I talk about shadow work and I explain shadow work and I take you through shadow work, simply because these are all the tools that you need in your toolkit if you're especially working in this field or you help people in some way, shape or form, because this, you know, this stuff happens, right? Psychic attacks, psychic abuse is very, very common. So the other thing I just want to say there about the psychic abuse is be mindful of, you know, other people's energetic boundaries, you know, like, you know, you saying, you know, oh, I'm going to send you my questions so that you answer them, is not a respect for me going, I don't do free readings anymore, right? And, you know, it's a form of manipulation, and abuse is a form of manipulation to get that person to do what you want them to do. That's no different to manipulation and abuse and domestic violence, okay? And I bet your bottom dollar you don't like seeing women go through that, or yourself, okay? So don't do it on the physical or spiritual world either, because there's no difference there, okay? As I always say, relationships in the physical world and the spiritual world are no difference. If you're doing mediumship, you really need to be mindful of all those energetic boundaries and dynamics, and that's why at the third eye we're looking at the relationship dynamics in module 3, working on your inner family healing, so that when you're receiving information about, you know, the relationship that client has with that mediumship person that's coming through, their grandfather or whoever it is, then you're very aware of the dynamics playing out there, because that relationship that they had when they were physically alive is still, the same patterns and dynamics are still there. That's why mediumship happens, because when a soul passes over, it's like they wake up, right, to the truth, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And they hang around that person in the physical, right? And that's why we sense our loved ones passed over, because they want to apologize. And then they'll guide you to someone who can pick up, you know, like a mediumship, psychic, all that sort of thing. That's why one day you'll be like, oh, I need to go and talk to my, you know, and find out messages from my grandfather or whatever it is. Because they're hanging around because they want to apologize and they want you to know that, right? So dynamics and relationships are no different, and the soul, you know, the soul doesn't die. Those relationships are still there. So psychic abuse and psychic attack, if you don't like if you don't like abuse and people being attacked in the world and the physical, don't do it in the spiritual. Don't manipulate people, and, you know, and it's your own energetic boundaries. And then you need to look at yourself and like, well, why do I feel like I can do that, or why, you know, why do I need that from that person? Yeah, look inside yourself and go, actually, I'm really needing some help with something. So, you know, like, is manipulation the answer? Or, do you know what I mean? Like, just be really mindful of your energy in that way. Okay, Benita, so I'm dealing with somebody who is taking my energy. Okay, somebody can only take your energy if you let them. It's exactly what I just said, in a sense of like, people are sending me, I'm going to send you energy and send you my questions so you answer them. And I'm like, well, no, you're not. Actually, I won't answer them. And it's like, someone sent me a private message the other day asking me to look over their work. And like, one, I'm so focused at where I'm going and my energetic boundaries, and it's taken me a while to get very clear, right? And I encourage you to practice, because it is a practice to step out of your people pleasing role and actually please yourself and help yourself, because then you can help the world. You know, and you can. And I said, no, I said, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't say I'm sorry. I'm very cautious of not saying sorry. I'm just like, I'm very busy and focused right now, so I won't do that. If you'd like to book a reading, and then I can go over your, you know, work and, you know, help you in that regard, no worries. But this is my focus for right now. Sorry, I'm just seeing the other comments here. So, oh yeah, Benita said there. So I'm just, sorry, my internet at home's dropping in and out. My phone's alright, but okay. Shadow work, I'll get to that in a moment, Celia. Okay, so Benita says, the person I'm speaking of is someone who's being nasty to my face when I care for them, helping with their father. Alright, same thing. You know, abuse, you know, and that's why it's a bit of a touchy subject, because abuse happens because two people are tangoing in it. Thanks, Tamsin. We can say no, definitely, you know, and it's a self-worth, self-love thing, right? Not everybody's going to be happy that we say no, right? Especially when we've been saying yes for so long and they're used to that. It's taking a bit of, you know, takes practice to step out of that. Okay, I'm seeing these comments, I'll get to them. I just want to respond to Benita there. So as I said, you know, abuse takes two to tango. And it is, you know, about getting the help and support you need to leave an abusive situation, because it's not as easy as like, we'll just get out of there. Like, I know from personal experience, that's not what you need to do. You need to get the proper support and help if you are in a domestic violence situation, to be able to, you know, leave a situation. You might not have to leave it forever, but for a period of time, you kind of need to, you know, remove yourself. So I'm wondering whereabouts in the world you are, Benita. I was just going to direct you to some domestic violence helplines and stuff there. I know in Australia, the ones, but if you're not in Australia, well then, yeah. And that's the thing, you know, so the person I'm speaking of is someone who's being nasty to my face, and when you care so much for them, helping with their father. See, and that's the thing, it's like, you know, because you're staying there, in that space, you know, and who is taking your energy? Well, it's because you're still there, and it's hard to, you know, leave, especially because the people we're closest to and the people we love the most are usually the ones that, you know, we experience the abuse with, right? You're in Texas, you're leaving tomorrow. Yeah, okay, cool. We're already taking action, because sometimes it takes that for us to leave, for some people to wake up. Like, we want to help them. We want to wake them up. We're like, can't you see what you're doing to me? Why are you being mean to me? Sometimes, most of the time, it takes us to remove ourselves from the situation with support and help, to be able to, and that person will wake up, and sometimes they won't wake up. It's not our responsibility to wake them up, yeah? But it is our responsibility to take extra care of ourselves, because when we're in that situation, we can't help anybody, right? It's us that we need to focus on, right? So I hope that helps you a bit there. Okay, so shadow work. So shadow work is the next level of consciousness, basically. So you know when you grow up, and then you have your spiritual awakening, and then you realize all this amazing spiritual stuff, and then you also see the truth in the world of all this crazy stuff that's going on. You're welcome, Benita. And then you see, how can I help the world? There's all this pain and suffering in the world, but why isn't anybody doing it? And it's about integrating the darkness, right? So as soon as you become aware of the next, you become awake, it's then up to you for your responsibility to start integrating that, okay? Because we come from that point of wholeness. So I would highly recommend for you, Celia, to watch my live stream I did 2 days ago. If you scroll down my page, you'll find it, but I'll also give you the YouTube link here. It's a long live stream that I did. It's now on YouTube. It's Reclaim Your Power, Focus, Focus, Focus. I talk a lot about shadow work in there, and that will help you to understand exactly what shadow work is, if that makes sense. So I'll post this link here for the YouTube. So what is shadow work? I'll just put it there so you know what link I'm putting in. And that will help you to explain it. So it's definitely next level consciousness, and actually how we're going to shift the planet, right? So I highly recommend watching that for you, Celia. You are on live with me, yeah. Okay. All right, Chanel. Is it a possibility that due to receiving a psychic attack, like the example someone talking about you behind your back, that would cause you to do so as well subconsciously? Consciously? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And this is where shadow work comes in, because, our immediate reaction when we're attacked is to defend ourselves, right? It takes practice and discipline to drop into the heart and come from love, yeah? So, when it's like immediate, we can definitely do that. Or if we're bitching about somebody, we're actually sending daggers and knives to them, right? Now in my live stream that I did about curses, I'll put that YouTube link in here too. Curses, the truth about them and how to break them. I speak about that because when some people say, oh, you've been cursed and you've been hexed and this is going to happen to you because you've been cursed. Curses, hexes, psychic attacks, psychic abuse, they're words. There's a little meme. Hang on, let me put this in. I'm just going to put the curses thing here. I'll just do that so I can do it. There's a meme that I also posted on my Facebook not too long ago. Looks like a witch blowing, out of a book, out of a spelling book. It says, words cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Yeah? So curses, hexes, psychic abuse, psychic attack. If, like I said, that person bitching about you is throwing daggers, that psychic attack, they're words. Those words are energy, and energy lands on us, right? Especially when we've got a thread or a connection to a person. Usually, even if we don't know the person and they're bitching about us, energetically we can still feel it. And this is why I'm so passionate about teaching people to, fine tune their psychic abilities and all their spiritual organs. Hi, Carrie. So that people can, know, even if they don't know the person, but they sense, this energy's landed on them, they're able to follow that thread so that they're not clouded in their own intuition and take all these other people's energy on even if we don't know them. Okay, so I hope that helps explain that, Chanel. So to stop that happening, that would cause you to do so as well, subconsciously kind of attack. But that's, when you come into that deep level of understanding and you train and discipline yourself to not be here and be here, then you can go, oh, okay, why am I receiving this so much? Why am I feeling all this negativity, right? Because as I said in that Reclaim Your Power live stream that I just shared there, the YouTube, and in the blog that I wrote on Saturday or Friday, is that the fact that the only reason we're getting triggered or attracting that into our life is because we've got a resonance in some level of our body, and that's why we're attracting it. So remember, the universe is responding to what we're feeling most of the time. Our thoughts, yes, but our thoughts are creating feelings, and we're vibrating, and that's what the universe is picking up. So if you remember that our conscious mind is like 1% and the other 99% is our subconscious, that's why it takes a lot of practice and discipline to start changing our reality, because this is 1% of our 1% is the thinking, right? The rest is subconscious that we've learned for the past 30 years or however old you are, right? So practice and discipline is why people say the secret didn't work. It's like, well, because they've got 1% here, but what about this stuff? This is where the shadow work comes in. Because when we're integrating our shadow with everything that we're seeing in our reality, that's when we start to transform the subconscious, and that's when our reality shifts and we start vibrating at a higher frequency, and that's when our life changes and we actually live the secret, right? Okay, yes it did. Yep, makes sense. Awesome. Yeah. I was just going to say something else about that. What was it? Getting to the root of the problem? Absolutely. That's why when I give a psychic reading, sometimes people are like, oh, I don't really understand that. And then I realize and I remember how deep I actually go, because that stuff is so clear to me that I pick that up straight away. That's all I'm picking up when I do a reading, and that's why, you know, when you come to me for a reading, it's more like a healing, because I go straight into that deep stuff and actually get to the core root of the problem before I've even looked at your cards. If you know and you've booked a reading with me and you receive a reading, I'm like downloading all this information, and then I'm like, oh, well, I better look at your cards now. Because that's just, you know, I guess how I've trained myself, or how I'm, you know, used to reading, I don't know, that's just me, that's my gift, I guess. So, yeah, is there anything else I want to say about that? Psychic attack, psychic abuse. So I guess, yeah, the way to prevent it is to, you know, definitely learn about shadow work. You sure can. I'll put the link in there. Psychic readings. Yeah, very true. and that's the thing, if you do book a reading with me and you're like, oh, it doesn't really make sense, give it a couple of days, you know, to let the information, you know, drop into, you know, for it to bubble and sink, and just allow ourselves to, you know, receive the information will start to become clear. I just put a link in the comments how you can book a reading for me, with me. It's a psychic reading link there. Because with that 1% thing, what I wanted to say, it's like the tip of the iceberg. You're welcome, Tamsin. The tip of the iceberg, you know, like that famous quote, or, you know, you see the tip of the iceberg outside the water, and then the rest of the iceberg is huge under here. That's our subconscious, right? And this is our conscious up the top here. So that's why I'm always going on about journaling and manifestation practices and turning up with discipline, right? It's like, it's why, because this is 1% and the rest is here, and it's like, you know, if you want to change your reality, you need to be looking at this stuff here. So in my Trust the Intuition course as well, there's a bonus module on journaling, how to journal to shift beliefs, you know, all that sort of thing, because that's kind of the purpose of it. We're rewiring our brain, but when we also step up to the next level, that's when the deepest, darkest subconscious stuff comes up to go, oh, no, you're not. Right? And then, but when that does come up, know that you're just there, and when it becomes conscious, it's because it's ready to shift. Yeah? So, okay, so I just wanted to finish saying that, too bad we can't throw cookies at the negative energies, they'll probably throw it back. You're baking cookies, yeah. Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing too. Oh, and that's what I wanted to say too, you know, like, when, you know, you want to send healing to somebody, whether it's hands-on healing, energy, sending angels to someone, or anything like that, or Reiki or distance healing, that person will only heal if they're going to energetically accept it. Because people are very closed, people doubt things, you know, it's just the way we've been trained in society, you know, so that's why I don't really spend a lot of time, well, I've stopped doing that sort of thing quite a long time ago, actually, when I realized that people are not ready to shift until they're ready. And so now, you know, with building my business and, you know, calling in and being more conscious of my energy and my, you know, where I'm going and what I'm intuitively being called to help and do, because my entire business is built on, you know, trusting my intuition and, you know, where I'm being called to help and set up and not set up and, you know, all that sort of thing, is the fact that, you know, it takes a lot of energy to wake up somebody who's not ready to wake up. Again, that Reclaim Your Power live stream will really help understand that, you know, and the best form of healing that we can do is seeing somebody as healed and then focusing on what our intuition is guiding us to do to make the world better. Because when we're focusing on building this world, then that world will just dissipate because we're not focusing our energy on it. Yeah. So to prevent psychic attack and psychic abuse for yourself, be mindful of what you're talking about most of the time, who you're hanging around, in a sense of like if it's gossiping groups, doesn't mean that you don't have to be friends with them, but you might limit your time with them. Because when you do transition, you know, when you start being awake and you're transitioning, you know, there's a period of time where you're like, oh, this just doesn't do it for me anymore. Know that you're starting to recalibrate and move to where people who understand you and totally get you without even thinking anything of it, they totally understand you. Again, why I created Trust Your Intuition, because in that tribe, people 100% get you, don't need to explain anything. We're like, yep, got that, been there, done that. You know, it's normal for us. And I feel a bit passionate and happy and excited that, you know, it's like, I feel like I'm creating the new normal. Like, this is the new normal, and this is a big manifesting thing. It's like, what's your new normal, right? And it's like, focus on your new normal, not what. Don't keep repeating and saying the stories. It's the same as gossiping, right? You keep creating that, right? So yeah, you quit your gym due to all the gossip. Yeah, it's like we just naturally like, and if you're still, you know, if they're good friends or whatever, you know, it's just like you might listen to it, but you might not engage back in it. Oh yeah, they such and such did this, right? So you might do it and you're like, oh, that didn't feel right, right? And you're starting to shift. When did I realize I was gifted? I had my spiritual awakening when I was 21. So I'm currently writing a book. My book, what is it called? It's the Handbook for Ancient Blooded Healers, and in there will be my story of awakening and how I came to that, how it all happened. But yeah, when I was 21. So what, I'm 33 now, so 12 years. Okay, so I don't think I answered myself there when I said the best form of psychic attack and psychic abuse, the best protection from that. I'm also going to release a video this week, how do I protect my energy. Yeah, I'm excited to write this book, Amanda. It's been a long time in the coming, so I'm excited about it. It's time. I can feel it in my bones. So the best form of protection for yourself around psychic attack and psychic abuse is to become very acutely aware of your spiritual organs, building that relationship with those muscles, and how to, you know, what energy is coming from where. Again, I teach all of this in Trust Your Intuition, which there's only 9 more days that the doors are open for Trust Your Intuition. So if you want to get in there, you've only got 9 days left to get in there until mid next year. When I reopen that. So so being very conscious of your, you know, your energy, of, you know, where and when you're focusing your energy, who you're engaging with, you know, and the more self-care you can do around your spiritual organs, around your energy, around your physical self-care, your home, your car, your entire life, basically, the cleaner and clearer you are, the cleaner, you know, the less and less. And the same with the shadow work as well. Shadow work's the #1 key to, you know, again, reducing and releasing all the psychic attack and psychic abuse. As you do that for yourself and your life, you're also releasing and doing that for the world. Okay. okay, how do we go about scheduling a session with you? Okay, so there's a bit of a difference between working with me via Skype or phone to actually just getting a psychic reading. So a psychic reading is an audio recorded reading that I do for you, and that's like emailed out to you. So I take a photo of the cards. I use up to 5 card decks. It's a big card spread that I use, and it's audio recorded. So that's a psychic reading, and the link below is you can book a psychic reading. If you wanted to work one-on-one with me, it's an application process. So if you want to send me a private message and I can go through the application process with you, if you want to work one-on-one via Skype or phone, okay? So if you want to work one-on-one with via Skype or phone, it's a lot deeper, you know, a lot. My psychic readings, you know, they're similar, but obviously if you're working with someone one-on-one, we can go straight to the core. It's like I take you through a speed process of, you know, Trust Your Intuition, which is a self-paced online course. So really just, yeah, if you want to do one-on-one sessions with me, send me a private message and I'll send you the application process there. So Aurora says, like flipping the Trust Your Intuition card and posting on the tribe group and having people to share the beauty of synchronicity. Yes, yes. So Aurora's just joined Trust Your Intuition. I'm wondering if you let me share what you shared there in the group. Super recommend the Trust Your Intuition course. It's a priceless purchase. Yeah, there's only 9 days left. Let me grab the link. Next year when it reopens, the price will be up very considerably because it's been at this price at 12 months and yeah, it's time. So only 9 days left to get in the Trust Your Intuition tribe. Yeah, I loved that when you shared that too, Aurora. And that's the thing, yeah, you can go and share, you know, that's why I'm creating that tribe, because people just get it and yeah, it's awesome. Okay. Thanks, Celia. Yeah, I like your energy, very informative to other mediums. Thank you. So glad I found you on here. Yeah, I really, I don't know what the word is, thrive on that, or I don't know what the word is. That's not the right word. Distinguish myself, I guess, you know, when I first, thanks, Amanda. Hannah is amazing. Highly recommend. When, you know, I first started doing the online, you know, gig, I guess you could say, which was just over 12 months ago now, I've been nearly 15 months now. Anyway, I was very much putting myself out there, you know, like I didn't even say that I did psychic readings. In a sense, I'm like, yeah, I do them, but very different to other people. I don't sit there and tell your future because nothing is friggin' set in stone, right? It's kind of like, yeah, as a psychic, as a medium, as a healer, as an intuitive, you know, you, yay, Anita. Thanks for sharing that. So Anita just said, saw the video posted and spoke directly to. Thank you. I saw your comment too, Tammy. I'll answer that in a moment. I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, and it's kind of like the simple fact is, as a psychic healer medium, and when your clairvoyance and your intuitive abilities awaken, you see the future. It's a byproduct of being intuitive, right? However, what I'm very passionate about is that nothing is set in stone, right? Tomorrow is created by the action we take today. If you don't like the outcome of what you can see coming, choose a different action, right? Choose a different action, right? So, you know, and that's when I give my readings. I'm like, well, this, you know, will unfold, but it, you know, if you want to create this, I'm a big creator, right? It's like, you know, choose what you want to create and start doing that now, and then keep doing that, right? Because you're going to change the compass and direction of your life, right? Okay. Okay, so Tammy, you said that you've been awoken by a loud voice at night, no one in your house speaking. It's been bothering you for more than a year. So yeah, sorry, I did see a comment. I always see the comments, but if I'm in flow, I'll, you know, jump back and forth, but trust me, I see them and I'll speak to them when I get to them. What was I going to say there? So with the loud voice around 3 a.m., so there's a couple of different things about that. One is, and I shared this the other day, if you're waking up a specific time every day, I was on the angel numbers thing. I'll just put that in there because that will explain waking up at the same time every night. The loud voice can be, you know, different scenarios there. So if somebody has passed away in that house, then, you know, they've just got a message for you. I did do a live stream on this not long ago. Where was that? Just let me think for a sec. Something about what to do about that. Okay. It was in the Curses live stream. Yes, it was. It was in the Curses live stream. So, Tammy, watch the Curses live stream. So the YouTube link that I put in this thread of comments. It brings you out of sleep. No one passed in this house. Okay. So if no one's passed in that house, then it's either, it feels like there's a spirit there and they're trying to get a message to you. So if you watch that Curses live stream, Curses, Hexes, the Truth About Them, if you just scroll back through, the YouTube link is there. So go and watch that, and that will help you understand why they're doing that, why they're waking you up, how to get them out of your house and all of that. Okay, that's in the Curses live stream. So go and watch that. All right, so what do we got here? My computer's just frozen for that. Well, my computer's not frozen. The internet's dropping out on my home internet. All right. So I'm just going to check that I got all these comments. Okay, that's stopped. Okay. Very informative. Did that one. Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting, Anita, because I couldn't go live. So I was supposed to go live and do free live readings in Gifted this morning, and admin wasn't available to approve, and I was like, okay, that's fine, I trust this, and I ended up just speaking about spiritual organs. So if you're a member of that Gifted group, go and watch that live stream that's in there. It's actually live now, or the replay, you can watch the replay in there. And I appreciate that feedback, Anita, because again, I just trusted. I'm like, I'm obviously needing to talk about this, even though, you know, I'm here doing that, but obviously you guys needed to hear that. So I'm glad that it helped you. So Joe, been in a funk dealing with a health crisis of my fiance and trying to get back to work. I've not been able to achieve any work success, any insight. Self-care is coming to mind. So yeah, there's a bit coming through there, but I'm not doing like full-on free readings on my live streams. I'm just trying to think if there's something I can direct you to. First thing would definitely be self-care, though, if you're lacking success in any area. Self-care and focus are the two most important ingredients for manifesting what you want. I'm releasing a course at the end of February next year or beginning of March next year called Manifesting Magic, how to manifest anything you want in your life. But yeah, self-care and focus are the biggest things there. All right, so okay, Nita says, I was talking about third eye. I was cleaning my home with sage, and on the TV I saw the third eye and in a triangle with a rainbow or aura of colours, trying to decipher what it meant. So our third eye comes more into vision when we're relaxed, you know, especially when you're first learning to receive messages and strengthening your intuitive muscles. The more relaxed you are, the more messages you get. So meditation, you know, regular meditation is highly recommended in the start of, you know, your awakening, and, you know, well, anytime really, but especially in the start, so because you're starting to train your muscles and, you know, decipher energy and everything like that. And meditation is the best form of being able to do that. I could never meditate. Yoga taught me how to meditate. So I did a lot of yoga before I actually was able to sit still and meditate. So maybe that might be something for you there. You know, because it's like the thing I wanted to speak to that, Anita, was the fact that when you know, when you're falling asleep, sometimes, well, for me, when I'm falling asleep, I see my third eye very clearly. It's just like an eye looking back at me. So yeah, so very, so when you're cleaning, so the reason I wanted to talk to that is because when you're cleaning, so for me, when I'm cleaning, when I'm in the shower, when I'm washing dishes, when I'm driving, that's when I receive a lot of information. A friend once told me years ago that she read something that it's something about those repetitive movements that we're doing, but we're also in the monotonous world of the physicality, and it gives us a space for stuff to come through. So trying to decipher what it meant, I did a live stream on, and I've purposely started putting these on YouTube and having these here for you because these are the questions I get asked all the time. You know, you can always ask for more information, right? If you don't understand a message that you're receiving, you can always ask for more information. So I'm going to put that in the comments for you, Anita, so you can watch that YouTube, and it will help you to understand. So when my home internet decides to rejoin, I will post that in the comments for you. You're welcome, Tammy. Yay, Samoy. No worries, Joe. You're welcome, Anita. So is it Shubra? Why my third eye is blink when I talk to someone special? Why does it blink? Is that what you're saying? Aurora says, no way. Okay, that happens to me when I'm falling asleep. I thought I was just imagining it. No. And this is the thing, right? People think, you know, you're imagining, like, that's what I always say. I'm like, if you can't see, imagine it, right? When I'm in my light field yoga classes, when I'm giving a class, you know, it's like if you know, and the thing is, when you say you can't see, you're affirming that, right? So, you know, when you do, you know, and I say if you can't see, imagine it, because your imagination is the seed of your intuition, right? And that's why it's so important not to squash children's imagination, because that's their connection to their friggin' soul and their intuitive guidance, right? So I do have a YouTube channel. I just posted a couple of YouTube links in the comments so you can scroll back through and find them. But when my home internet decides to connect, I'll put the specific YouTube in for you there. Anita, sorry, I'm just scrolling through the comments. You feel the pressure there. Yeah, so, you know, and that's your intuition. That's your third eye receiving message. So whatever you're talking about, whatever you're feeling, you know, and that, I guess I forgot to say that in the gifted group this morning, actually, is that when you get a feeling about something, you know, and you're speaking away or whatever, and you're getting a feeling and you're like, oh, and then that pressure starts to happen there, it's like, it's like a backup, it's a confirmation, right? So it's like you're getting a feeling, but then you're getting this, so it's a double backup of your intuition. You're getting intuition and it's correct, and you know, that's just an extra confirmation for you. Again, if you don't know what it means, ask it. I need more information. What's this pressure about? Yeah, so when as soon as this link is able to post, I'll post it. You can always ask for more information. People just think they get messages and they're like, oh, I don't know what it means. Well, ask more information, right? I can always see and I always imagine it. Yeah. And I've never looked right at it because I guess it's kind of freaked me out. So can you explain a little what is happening there? So yeah, a lot of people are scared of their clairvoyance. Everyone's scared of their intuition. That's why we don't trust it. That's why we don't listen to it. Well, it's there, but like, oh, we're just scared of it. It's a thing. And the thing is, you know, when I see my third eye, and as you'll see, you're in the trust intuition, Aurora, as you'll see that when I teach in module 1 about your spiritual organs and all the ins and outs you need to know about them, so when you start moving through the module, you'll understand more, is that you're building a relationship with it. It's like a person. It's a being, right? And it's probably why I'm so strong and clear in my intuition, because I've got a relationship with these organs and my entire intuition and all my chakras that I've been doing this for, 12 years now. So, you know, it's like, okay, I see you. Do you have a message for me, or is there something you need? Because there's always some sort of healing that we can give to our spiritual organs, again, which is why I teach it in module 1, because there's past life traumas, there's this life traumas, there's being told to stop talking to your imaginary friend when you're a child, you know, all that sort of thing that shuts down because of fear, basically. So yeah, all that is in module 1 for you, waiting right at your fingertips, Aurora. All right. I'll be ringing my internet provider as soon as I get off this live stream. So I hope that's helped you guys there. Like I said, Trust the Intuition, there's only 9 more days to get in there, and it won't reopen until mid next year, and the price will be considerably higher. So if you're thinking about it, there is a payment plan option there too. A payment plan if you need it. And yeah, if you think that this live stream can help anybody, please please share it. So you had someone in your room last night. Did you just let your third eye open naturally? Is that a trick question? Because I don't know, when you read my spiritual awakening and everything that happened around that, yeah, my Trust the Intuition course is exactly that, Celia. Yay, Aurora. Yeah, did I meant that sarcastically, Tamsin. Is that a trick question? Did I just let my third eye open naturally? Yeah, I got that message too as soon as I saw that comment, Manda. Trust that. So yeah, like I said, like when I write my story and I'm like, oh, it's time for me to share my spiritual awakening story in book form. Have done it on live stream last year, but it's time to do it in book form now, so that's why I'm writing my book. Well, I've heard that you can force it open. I'm not wanting to do that. I'm just wondering, not a trick. No, yeah, sorry, I was being sarcastic. I know when I'm sarcastic, sometimes it's not that nice. Like, people don't know that I'm joking unless you know me, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, so yes, I'm showing you a live stream. Yay, thank you. Yeah, if you think it will help someone, please please share it. And yeah, as I said, Anita, I'll share the link as soon as my internet comes back on, or when I jump off, I can do it on my phone. So for that live stream, for that thing, I don't even remember what I was going to share for you now. Oh, that you can ask for more information. Cool. So okay, so answering your question, Tamsin, is we've heard that you can force it open. Okay, so if you consider your third eye like a being, right, because your intuition and your organs are, because everything on this planet is a living being, right? Forcing it open, yeah, it doesn't really feel right to me either. And I guess that's why I teach what I do in module 1 in the spiritual organs, understanding them, especially third eye. I mean, I say especially third eye, I'm being, what's the word? Choosing a favorite here. But because as soon as I said that, all the other ones in me just went no, and I'm like, no, that's a favorite. Okay, cool, you're all equal. Again, I've got that relationship, I can hear them speaking to me, you know, it's like they've got their own being, plus they're the ones that help me to receive my messages that I share with you guys. So yeah, so, you know, in forcing it open, there's a reason why it's closed, right? Trauma from, like I said, a kid where you got told to stop talking to your imaginary friend. You know, we've all, what's that movie, like Freddy or something? Not the scary one. I used to watch it all the time. As a kid, I loved it, actually, that movie. I can't even remember what its name's called now, but anyway, it's an old movie. You know, it's like there's a reason that it's closed right now, because it's experienced some sort of trauma. So it's like, imagine, you know, with a person who's experiencing, what is that, post-traumatic stress disorder, PSTD, is that whatever, you know, that. Drop Dead Fred, yes, thank you, that one. Loved that movie when I was a kid, now I understand why. Wasn't awakened till I was 21. So if you can imagine someone with post-traumatic stress disorder, okay, and you're forcing them to feel safe, you're forcing them to open, be normal, like, you know, stop being traumatized. It doesn't work, right? Oh, I'm feeling that in my third eye. It's like, yeah, right? It's like, you know, gentleness. Okay, here's the other aspect to it, right? The masculine and the feminine balance. Masculine can be very forceful. This is where the psychic abuse and psychic attack comes in. Forcing is psychic attack, psychic abuse is abuse, right? Forcing, not respecting. Do this, control, yeah? That's masculine out of balance. That's masculine in the unhealthy form. The femininity is gentleness, openness, you know, it's receiving, yeah? And it's the femininity and the gentleness that you need to be able to receive your intuition. So, and this is why I'm so passionate about teaching what I do in Trust the Intuition, because, you know, it's like we need to be aware of our own traumas, of our own hurts, of previous lives, of this lifetime, and why I teach what I do to heal all that, because otherwise we're projecting that in that masculine energy, because the masculine is protecting all the hurt that we're carrying. So when we're giving readings, we're projecting all that into the reading. It's not clear, right? So this is, again, why I'm passionate about teaching what I do. So I see your comments coming through. I'll just, what did you say there? I'm just making sure that so yeah, so in that forcing thing, you know, and that's why I go through in module 1 about learning about your spiritual organs in detail. You know, there's different sections to them, making sure they're repaired, making sure there's no blocks, you know, and how to see the blocks and all that sort of thing. You know, and then once you do the initial repair, it's about the maintenance. It's the same as your car. You don't just get it fixed once and never get it serviced ever again. It'll break down, right? So it's this building relationship with your spiritual organs. So personally, I wouldn't force it. Maybe it works for some people. That's not what I resonate with. That's not what I teach. You know, but it is about releasing the trauma of why it shut down in the first place, whether it was past life or this life, yeah? So I hope that opens for you. I hope that helps your question. Hi Miranda, I see you guys' comments when you come on. So that's why I let my daughters express themselves freely. I don't want my girls to lose their music within. Yeah, definitely. I just got so many questions, don't know what to ask. Just jump onto my YouTube, Celia. If you haven't watched any of my YouTube videos, I've been really conscious of putting all my live streams on YouTube, because they're also much valuable information. Hence, you know, people ask me a question, I'm like, can direct them directly to that rather than repeating myself all the time, so I can open up to more information for you guys. Rora, so as you become more in tune with yourself, do you find it easier to learn? Definitely. Definitely. I'm upgrading my high school marks at the moment to go to university for nutrition, but I find that I learn a lot quicker now. Okay, here's the thing about that. If you know me, I homeschool, unschool my daughter. I don't force her to, you know, learn, and a lot of people are like, what? I say homeschool because it's easier than trying to explain unschool. It's like trying to explain consciousness to an unconscious person. So if they really want to learn, I can direct them to books and websites that can help them. So with a child's developmental age, from 0 to 7, it's really about, you know, body and getting in their body. And then from 7 to 14, it shifts to a different, you know, developmental learning. And then from 14 to 21 is a different developmental learning again. Now, I think, you know, and here in Australia, I'm a bit like, because apparently they're just starting to, you know, they're going to drop the age they have to go to school another year, like low, you know, starting at 4 years old or something. And I'm like, oh man, like, kids need to be running around until 7 years old and allowed to be kids, not learning to hold pens and forced to read and write at 4 years old. Like, yeah, some kids want to do that naturally. Good. This is the whole thing about natural learning. And, you know, it's like, you know, we send our kids to school for 12 years, and then everybody's lost when they finish school, because they're like, well, what do we do now? We've been told what to do for 12 years, so I don't know. And we're forced to learn things that we don't really want to learn, basically, you know, like algebra. I'm like, I don't know algebra. Maths is not my strong point, you know. And the thing about your comments cut off there because of my phone, and my friggin' computer's a bit well, it's not my computer, it's my internet at home. Just check if I can read the rest of your message on here. And it's a big thing, you know, like if you, and like you say, Aurora, right? So what you said, you're upgrading your high school grades at the moment to go to university. But I find that I learn a lot quicker now, and I'm assuming, and okay, let me give you the number one key point of what I'm saying here. Because you want to learn about nutrition, you're absorbing it because you're like, I want to learn this, right? I'm doing this because it's going to get me there, because you want to do it, because your soul is calling you to do it. This is the basis of unschooling. Allowing your child to trust what they want to learn when they want to learn it. Unschooling in natural learning involves a lot of trust that you have with your child that they will learn what they need to learn, especially reading and writing and all that sort of thing. It's kind of like normal standard for a unschooled child to not start reading until 9 years of age. Now that's a bucket load of trust that your child will eventually learn to read at 9 years of age, or, you know, like whenever they're ready. That's an average, you know, because it's like that's when the natural brain and the developmental age of the child is naturally ready to learn naturally. And because they want to read, they'll teach themselves very quickly, and they pick it up very quickly. Why? Because for the first 9 years or 7 years or however long it is, they've been allowed to do whatever their brain's been able to develop normally, like how it naturally would, right? As a child turning into an adult, without being forced and squelched down. So I hope that answers your question now. I'm just checking these comments. Oh, the magic within, yeah. So, okay, so the thing that I just want to share there is that if your child is at school and now you're freaking out because you're like, oh my God, I don't want them to be there or whatever, I really want to reinforce the fact that, you know, yes, it has an influence on them, but your greatest influence on your child is yourself and what you are implementing at home. Yeah, so if your child comes home from school traumatized, how are you treating them about that? Oh, it'll be fine, get over it, it's fine. Or do you actually sit there and listen to them and actually, you know, kind of explain, you know, the dynamics of what might have happened and what's going on for the other children, and give them a deeper understanding and really support them, okay? So don't freak out and go, I don't want my child to school. Maybe you do and trust that. But, you know, I'm not saying this to scare you in that way. And, you know, it's like the most important thing is the relationship you have with your child in your home, because that's the biggest, strongest remembrance that they're going to have, yeah? Okay, you start at 4. Yeah, wow. Yeah, see, it's changed, isn't it? Homeschool's a great idea. Yeah. Hey, Carrie. Yeah, you learnt nothing at school. It's the thing, because we just don't want to be there. Totally makes sense. Love knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome, Celia. All right. So I hope that's helped you guys. Like I said, as soon as this reconnects itself, I'll put in the link to you can always ask for more information, YouTube that I put up there. And as I said, if you think this will help somebody, please share it. I shall see you tomorrow. Remember, keep it really real. Lots of love. Namaste.